Welcome back to another installment of r/no sleep. We have another one from Accomplished Low. Title: My last home burglary didn't go as well as I had planned. Let's get into it. There is no sugarcoating this. I used to break into homes to steal, and this particular house felt like stealing candy from a toddler. It belonged to an old woman who lived there alone on a suburban street with few neighbors. I had been watching since last year when a young couple lived there. When the old lady moved in a couple months ago, I saw the perfect opportunity. My partner in crime was my younger brother Paul, whom I was introducing to the subtle art of getting in and out. My methods, though, were never violent. We just waited until the owners left, went inside, and took whatever electronics we could find. As usual, the week before, we studied their routine. We parked in front of the house, memorized the time she watered the plants, took her afternoon naps, and most importantly, when she left. Every afternoon, she was out for 1 to 2 hours. Once we confirmed the pattern, we made our move. When she drove away in her sedan, the action began. My brother parked right in front as I instructed. Taking advantage of the low foot traffic, we brought in a hand truck, duffel bags, and gloves. With a fake moving company sign on our van, no one would suspect a thing. Our cell phones were left in the car. A friend of mine got caught when his Bluetooth data showed up on a house gadget. That freaked me out. We cleared out all the appliances, TV, a washing machine, a fridge. Strangely, the old lady had never removed the framed photos of the previous family. "Now look for a safe," I told Paul, who was clumsily rummaging through jewelry. This was only his second break-in, and he was clearly nervous. He searched every room but found nothing, except for a large wooden door near the kitchen, locked. "Aha!" I heard him exclaim, pulling a big iron key from a closet. "This must be for that door." He tried it, and it opened. It led to a staircase descending into a pitch-black basement. "Old folks like to keep their valuables as hidden as possible," I explained. "There might be something down there." We stepped down cautiously, relying on our flashlights to guide us. With each step, the smell worsened. It was like walking into an abandoned butcher shop. I felt along the wall for a switch and flipped it on. Nothing could have prepared us for what we saw. The room was small, its concrete walls soaked in deep red stains. Chains hung from the ceiling, hooks at the ends, embedded in large slabs of meat, or at least what looked like meat. Something about them wasn't right. It didn't look like they came from an animal. My brother gagged at the stench, ran to the corner, and threw up. I asked if he was okay. He nodded, wiped his mouth, and steadied himself. I wanted to get the hell out, but as I turned to leave, he pointed to something in the far corner. A human figure lay curled up, hugging its knees. A thick metal collar was around its neck, chained to the wall. "What's going on down here? This is crazy." So you break into a house, you're a professional burglar, you get to the basement, and you find this? I would just be like, nope, turn around, see ya. It was a man, unconscious, severely malnourished, wearing nothing but boxer shorts. A small green light blinked on his collar. I recognized him as the man from the couple that lived here before the old lady. Paul stepped toward him and I grabbed his shoulder. "We need to leave now." "We just can't leave him here," he shot back. "Yes, we can," I insisted. "Our phones are in the car. We'll call the cops as soon as we get there." Of course, we'd have to explain why we were here in the first place, but this was too messed up to ignore. My brother didn't argue. Instead, he walked to a small equipment stand near the stairs, grabbed a medium-sized sledgehammer, and returned to the man. I was pissed but followed him. We pushed the unconscious man aside so the chain lay flat on the ground. My brother swung the hammer. Nothing. I took it from him, put all my strength into a swing, and shattered the chain. "Paul, let's go," I said as he approached the man to lift him onto his shoulders. That's when the collar light turned red. The explosion slammed me against the wall hard, and the impact knocked me out. I opened my eyes a few minutes later and saw that the man's collar had exploded, taking half his body with it. Paul had been closer to him than I was, and I was laying on the floor, hurt but alive. I crawled to him, trying to wake him up, and it didn't work. Then, a sharp pain shot through my leg, and I realized something had hit me down there. There was a lot of blood, and I couldn't stand properly. Trying to wake Paul was pointless, and I decided to get back up and call 911 fast. And that's what I did. Dragging myself up the stairs in extreme pain, I reached the phone in the living room. I was on the brink of passing out from blood loss when I gave the 911 operator the address. The moment I finished, I heard someone open the front door and saw from the corridor 2 figures standing there. One was the old lady staring back at me with a blank, cold expression. The other was a large man in a black coat, standing behind her like a bodyguard. Then I blacked out. I woke up the next day in a hospital bed. I was handcuffed, and I started shouting and crying like a baby until a cop entered seconds later. "Where's Paul?" was the first thing I asked. It might not seem like it, but this was when my nightmare truly began. I told the police everything, the burglaries and what we had found, and they told me what happened. Patrol car arrived about 15 minutes after my call. They found me unconscious on the living room floor, soaked in blood. In the basement, they discovered all the flesh and gore, along with the mangled body of a man blown apart by the explosion, the man with the collar. My brother wasn't there anymore. Neither were the old lady and the man I had seen at the front door. The police said that their modus operandi matched a case in another state, where a woman fitting her description had taken over a house, tortured, and murdered the original residents. She was likely part of a larger group. I was never charged for the burglaries. They didn't really know what to do with me. I was a victim too. It took a few weeks, but as my leg healed, I was ready to drive again, and that's what I did. Every single day from that moment on, I'm driving around town for any clue that might lead me to the old lady. The cops won't update me, so I decided to go search through every street and neighborhood in the goddamn country if I have to. I know she still has my brother. And Paul, if you're reading this somehow, please know, I'm sorry your big brother couldn't save you. But I promise I'm going to find you and get you out of this, even if it's the last thing I do. That's crazy. Burglar usually surprises people, but this surprised the burglar. That's for sure. And if he wouldn't have, just imagine if he wouldn't have got that 911 call through, he would have been chained to a wall somewhere else, 100% guaranteed. That was his saving grace, but it couldn't save his brother. That's crazy. Wonder why they didn't take him, if it was on purpose or not. I don't know. I think a part 2 would be great for this. I mean, it's set up for one for sure. Like always, please like and subscribe. I am the Meat Grin Masochist. Farewell.